Welcome to the Ryan A. Clark Show. I am Ryan A. Clark. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. Um, this one's going to be a continuation from the last one, as far as the NBA talk. My previous one I spoke on the Eastern Conference. This one I want to speak on the West. Um, I wanted to get started with the Thunder. Of course, they're at the top of the West at 37-9, and I'm curious, what do you guys think? Are they still the dominant top team in the West or the NBA? I'm starting to say no. I think that, as the run goes, you only get about 1 to 3 years in it, and eventually teams are going to start tracking you down and starting to get at your weaknesses. And I think the Thunder might have been caught. I mean, still 37-9 is dominant, of course, but I do think if they run into the Spurs, it might go wrong for them in that one. The Spurs looking really, really good. I like what they're building. I think they're ahead of schedule actually. It all comes down to Wemby's health with them. But as far as the Thunder go, it seems like when I watch them, I don't want to say stagnant, but it kind of looks like everyone knows their role, but it looks like they're just kind of comfortable in the role. Like it kind of seems like that. There's no, for example, like with the Celtics, Tatum and Brown always seemed like they were not going against each other, but always wanted to prove themselves. And they always wanted to show that I can do this too. And sometimes that can be a bad thing or it can be a good thing. As you see, they won the championship with it. But I always think watching OKC, it just seems like everyone just accepts like this is SGA's team and you do what you got to do, we'll follow you, which is okay. They won a championship off it. But it seems like this year they kind of need that second aggressive score or second aggressive player to help them out and not go with the flow. It kind of seems that way to me. Chet, he comes and goes. Sometimes he's there and aggressive. Sometimes he's not. Jalen Williams, he did just come back recently, so maybe he started to get his legs under him. But to me, it seems like the Thunder are just kind of, I want to say, stagnant in a way. And surprisingly, last night they lost to the Pacers. I mean, it's a trap game, if anything. I get it, but the fact that you lost to the Pacers with no Halliburton is kind of, I would say, alarming. Granted, yeah, maybe they just took the night off, so maybe that could have been it. But seeing how just maybe a month ago you guys were talking about maybe catching the Warriors and things like that, that 73-9 team, of course, that's out the window now. But now losing to the Pacers, I don't know. That's a tough drop. Granted, it's a whole second half of the year to go. Of course, we'll see how it turns out. But to me, right now, I still think they're dominant. Still may possibly can repeat. But right now, there's chinks in the armor, and I think that they can be taken. They can be taken. Another thing I want to talk about in the West. I want to talk about the Suns, the Phoenix Suns, man. Just I want to say last year, a couple weeks ago, they played the Rockets, and that talk KD gave them about being the scapegoat, and I mean, it kind of is looking like it, and you might have been the reason. Devin Booker's playing great. I can't knock him at all for his loyalty to Phoenix and wanting to be there and wanting to turn it around. Right now, I can't believe where they're at. 27, 27 and 19 right now, and I can't believe it. I think that what they're playing, how they're playing right now, is great. I think having Dylan Brooks emerge offensively, improve offensively, has helped them out a whole lot. Being that Jalen Green went down, and I mean that's a little bit of a disappointment there. But it kind of seems like maybe Bill and KD were the problem, and maybe Booker have to have the ball in his hands to for them to work. It's tough. It's tough to win that way as far as championship wise, but I was wanting to give Devin Booker his props on how he's handled the Suns season so far. He didn't quit. He didn't, just say I ain't got nobody and collect his money. He's playing hard, and the Suns are right in it. They're top 6 in the West right now, and let's see where that goes. Another team and player I wanted to highlight is the Nuggets and Jamal Murray. He's been holding it down with the West for the Nuggets while Joker's been hurt. Still has them top 5 in the West and playing great. I'm not the biggest fan of Jamal Murray, so I got to give it up when it's time to. And I think he's playing great right now. Just won the other night, and I think they can. I think the West. I'm sorry. I think the Nuggets are one of them teams who also can take out the Thunder. The Nuggets are always going to be in it because, of course, you still got Joker, who I still believe is the best player in the league, and they're always going to be in it as long as they have them to. But right now, I just wanted to give him that highlight spotlight. Another team, they're not winning as much, but I definitely wanted to show them some love is Portland at 23-23. I like the young core that they're building with Sharp and sorry, I can't pronounce my guy's name right. At Jeeve, I can't pronounce the name right. I'm sorry. I know it's gonna get butchered, but he looks like he's gonna turn. He's look like he's about to be the franchise player. You still have the Asian prospect. I can't. I don't want to butcher his name also either, but they still have him as the rookie, and I like what they built in Portland. I'm very interested, and maybe Portland fans can tell me too. I'm a Dame fan, so I'm curious. I know he's just waiting in the wing for next year, but I'm curious how he's gonna be a mentor and develop these guys. Because of course, Dame's toward the end of his career, and I'm interested to see how that turns out for next year. Given everything that's happened with them with the Chauncey situation, they're right around in the play-ins, and I'm curious. I'm curious how far they take this and how far they can go. I don't think contender or champions nothing like that, but I like seeing their development. I like seeing teams turning around. Like how similar when I explained about the Pistons and how they went from 27 games losing to top five in the East and taking the Knicks to 5 or 6 games, and that's that type of development and growth. I like seeing that, and I'm curious to see how Portland continues to grow. Given trading players like Aiton away and things like that, you would think they'll be at the bottom of the West and lottery in the lottery area, along with a couple teams I'm going to mention next. And so far, they playing hard. Like I said, another half of the season to go, and we'll see how that turns out. But I like that they're still playing hard. They don't let the distractions get to them, and they're developing young stars. I like seeing that in teams, and we'll see where Portland goes from here. Um, let's see if they get to the play-in, and maybe next year might be the goal of the playoffs. I like seeing that. And which leads me to my last topic. What are we gonna do about? I'm sorry. What are we gonna do with Ja Morant and Zion Williamson? I'm curious what y'all think about them. They were number 1 and 2 in their draft, and it looks like right now they're both on the verge of being traded. Um, their careers have kind of gone the same far as being underwhelming. Um, More so on Zion's side than Ja. Ja took off, and in recent years has definitely fell. And I don't know, he started to become injury prone. I kind of had the thought in my head, and I don't wish that on any player, but it's really looking like he's becoming injury prone. I just saw he's gonna be out for a couple weeks. It kind of seems like that's the recent years. That's kind of been the thing with Ja, and it's kind of unfortunate to see the turnaround of Memphis being one of the talk of the NBA and talking teams of the NBA and things like that to now a lottery and not even playoffs and a rebuild pretty much. 'Cause if Ja's going, you only can wonder how long Triple J is gonna be there. And I'm wondering what they're gonna do next as far as trade options with Ja. It's out there that they want to trade him. I know they've been talking about Brooklyn and Miami, and we'll see where that goes from there. If I'm Miami, I might take the shot. I might. I think it's time to give up on the hero experiment in Jovic. I'm sorry if I said that wrong, but I think it's time to give that up and try and build with Norman Powell, Ham, and Ja. I think that's very formidable in the East. They can. The Heat's always in. He's always going to be in the mix of playing tough and playing scrappy, and they're going to be in the playoffs. So we're not in the playoffs, but at least play into possibly playoffs. And I think with Ja, it elevates them, especially if he's focused and got his mind right. Miami is going to be questionable, but I'm just going to hope for the best on that one. On another player, Zion Williamson. I'm not here to talk about all the extra stuff off the court. That's for a whole other thing. As far as playing on the court, it's been underwhelming. He had moments, flashes of what he was supposed to be, but I don't think it's going to come. I think his time in New Orleans is up. And Pelicans fans, if you guys are there or just basketball talk in general, just let me know what you think. Do you think it's time to build a team around Queen? I think it's about that time. I think he's shown that. I mean, he's younger, of course, and he's shown more dedication to it than Zion, in my opinion. Um, Pelicans have paid Zion more than enough, and I think it's time. Maybe I think it's time to give the team to Queen. Get what you can for Zion, more picks and things like that. And I think it's about that time to build around Queen and Trey Murphy. Sorry, not Trey. I'm sorry, not Trey, but Murphy the third. I think it's that time. I think it's. I won't. I don't think it's a bad thing to give up on Zion because it never seemed like he really wanted to be there. He never really put the effort in until maybe this off season where he lost weight. But I would definitely explore the option of trading Zion in the offseason. And maybe I don't know as far as the new contract, maybe he has a NTC, no trade clause. But if he don't, I would just give it up and I would just trade him, get some picks. and maybe another young star or something, or not young star, but another prospect, and see where you go with Murphy and Queen. But thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. Have a good one.